So when we left our page, you remember that I had just added that transparency. But there were some other things that we needed to do to match up to the design inspiration that we received from our designer. What was that one thing that you called out? Very first thing you saw? Rounded corners, right. Let's do some rounded corners, shall we? Woo! All right. Rounded corners, of course, part of CSS3. So let me just direct your attention. We will once again click into each one of these columns, remembering that each one of those columns had that EQ height class applied to it. Remember, that was the one we changed the background color on. So we want to do some rounded corners. Well, how do you do it? Well, first of all, just to mention, we have updated Dreamweaver CS5.5 with all of the new CSS3 properties. Now, I mean all of them. There's only a couple, really, that you have to learn. Here they are, spinning by very quickly. Please memorize these. You will be tested on the way out. Oh, my goodness. That's all of the CSS3. See, there's really nothing to it. But I want to use rounded corners. Sadly, you won't find them in the R's because rounded corners are not called rounded corners in CSS3. To make it sort of compatible, if you will, with what a normal graphic designer might know from other graphic applications, they are actually called border radius. So I'm going to choose border radius here. And as I do so, you'll see something brand new in CS5.5. And I'm going to zoom in here so you guys can see this a little bit better. You see there this little icon. This is telling me that we have a new way, or a new little sub-panel, if you will, that is going to help me create my rounded corners. I'm going to click on it, and you're going to see it pop up just like this. Now, of course, we can do rounded corners for all of the corners, or if we wanted to do just a rounding on an individual corner, we could do so as well. Now, remember, my friends, before I show this, we are using CS5.5, and the live view is turned on. So we are seeing what is in our browser. Now, let me just ask before I show this, just to let the excitement build a little bit more. How many of you use Firefox, my web designers out there, use Firefox? I know why you do. One word, Firebug, right? Yeah, we all use Firebug because it's so cool. It allows us to test things, turn things on and off, see the effect of something, right? But the problem with Firebug is we make a change, what happens? We have to remember what the change that we made, go back to our editing program, make the change, save the file, re-upload, hit the browser again to refresh because we never really trust ourselves that we made it right, right? Is that not true? Yes, it is absolutely true. But watch this. Are you ready now? Has the excitement really built to its peak? Okay, here we go. I'm going to type a number. Which number would you like me to type? All right, I heard 5. Okay, here we go. 5. Boink. Do you see it? Look, look. Woo. Hey, Jace, look, I can do the dancing corners too. There you go. I'm making changes, and it is being shown to me immediately in the live view. The best part is, my friends, I'm done. In other words, I don't have to save my file, re-upload, go test it in the browser again because I'm seeing it happen live. Now, a feature that we built into CS5, for those of you on previous versions, is exactly what we experience inside of Firebug. And that is the ability to sort of mouse over. Can you see it? I've got a little do not enter sign. If I decide I don't want that border radius, click it, it's gone. But it's not really gone. You see, we've gone one better. What we've done is we've actually just commented it out. You see, it's right there. We've even told you we've commented that out. We've disabled that property. Want it back on? Boom. There we go. Enabled again. All right? Allowing me to truly test things out without having to bounce back and forth between an editing application and a browser. Pretty cool? All right. Now, You like my rounded corners? Because I'm going to go rounded corners silly on you right now. Do you remember our comp that we had, that Paladin season premiere thing? It was a circle set askew. Remember that? How would you create that today? Well, you would go back over into Photoshop or Fireworks, and you would turn everything, all your layers off. You would make a slice over that one little piece. You would export it as a transparent GIF or a PNG, right? Except that sucks. Because that means that the text is now baked into the image. If the client ever makes it, now I know this is a demo, so I can talk about things that don't really happen in the real world. If the client ever, wanted a change, again, never happens, I would have to go back into Photoshop or Fireworks, make the change, re-export, try to remember what were the settings that I used to get the smallest, then re-upload that one to the server, refresh my browser, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? Oh, and every time I refresh my browser, what is happening? We're actually making an HTTP request as well. We have to download that image. One of the beauties of CSS3 is an imageless web. What did I just say? A web without images? How can that be? Well, it's not going to be without images, just fewer images. For example, let's go take that square right now. That square is actually an element called reminder. I'll just show this to you, actually. So I'll select this here in my code. Let's go to split view here. So you can see there it is. It's a div. There's the text. It's actually in the document, right? It has a class called reminder. So let's go over here to the reminder class once again. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add that property. We're going to add that property called border radius. So I'm going to scroll down here to border radius. There it is. And I'm going to give it a little bit of border radius. I'm going to say, let's make that 5.5. I'm going to do EMs instead of pixels. And my friends, ooh, I just made a circle out of a square. That's pretty cool. Now, of course, it was rotated as well. So, rotation, let's talk about that. How do you do the rotation? Well, that's also a property of CSS3. So I'm going to show that to you. It's called actually transform. Now, I'm just going to, again, go down here to the bottom of my rule here. I'm going to add the transform property. Now, when I scroll down here, finding transform, again, all the way down here in the T's, it is called transform right here. So I'm going to say, what kind of transformation would I like to have? Now, the transformation that I'm going to do is one called rotate. Now, the rotate transformation did not do a doggone thing because I need to give it a value, actually. Let's go do that. Let's say 15 degrees. And there we go. And there's my beautiful rotation. On a circle. Nobody got that joke. When you rotate a circle, you can't see it. But I should actually, because I should be able to see the text rotating too, right? What's going on here? Well, here's the sad part about HTML5 and CSS3. Not all the pieces work yet. One of those is the transform property. Doesn't work yet, unless you're a trained professional like myself. Because actually, it does work. It just needs a little bit more help. Let's give it some help. I'm actually going to go straight to my code because I want to show you a couple of things as well as I begin to hand code this. Now, here is that transform that you saw me do right there. That actually is the real way that it's supposed to work. Sadly, as I said though, browsers, they're implementing pieces along the way. Some of them faster than other pieces. Now, in order to implement something that's not quite finished, what they've begun to do is use something called a vendor-specific prefix. Okay? A vendor-specific prefix is actually telling the browser or telling a specific browser what to do. So I'm going to hit my return key. There again is that long list of CSS3 properties. But I'm not going to pick one of them. I'm going to type a dash. When I do so, my list changes. Here, my friends, are the vendor-specific prefixes. We have, starting at the top, Moz, or Mozilla. Mozilla is, of course, Firefox. And if I just go ahead and tap my return key, you can see here are all the things that Firefox can do on its own that may or may not be finished in the actual spec. Now, if I go backwards, by the way, since we're doing tips and tricks, where are my Dreamweaver users? Anybody ever had this happen? Where did my help go? The little pop-down thing? I know what you do. You keep hitting backspace, backspace, backspace till you get back to the other line, and then you hit return again to get it back, right? You don't have to do that. You see, because all you really have to do is hold down your control key and tap your space bar at any time. We will bring the help back up. Okay? So now I want WebKit, let's say, and there is WebKit, and here are all the things that WebKit can do. This is a completely different list than the list that you saw a moment ago. Let me go back again, tapping my control and space bar to bring back up my hint. Hey, look at that. Look who's playing nice now. MS, Microsoft is even getting into the game and has their own set of properties that are implemented now in IE9 and IE10. Yes, I did say IE10. If you did not know, Microsoft has released a preview of IE10 already, and it actually looks really cool. I never thought I would say that. Internet Explorer is really cool. Yes, it is. Now, I'm going to simply use WebKit, and again, type transform. As I begin to type, our code hinting is narrowing down, following along with what I'm typing. I'll say I want to do transform, I want to do a rotate, and I want to do it 15 degrees, just like that, and boom, we now have our rotation. Pretty cool? All right, again, I'm seeing it happen all live. Now, CSS3, as I said, is evolving. It's moving forward. And it's moving forward, actually, at a rather rapid pace. But where do all these ideas come from? Where do these things that we want to do, we want to add, who came up with the idea of being able to transform something or rotate something? Well, the W3C, right? The steering committee of the web. Who is the W3C? We are. The community. And Adobe is part of the community. In fact, Adobe has representatives on the W3C. And we are actually part of the steering committee, if you will. And we are actually making some proposals. I want to tell you about one that we just made yesterday. Yesterday, we announced a proposal for the W3C that has to do with something that I'm sure every designer wants to do. But I'm going to go tell you where you can read more about that. If you simply go to labs.adobe.com, you will see right here the CSS3 regions prototype. You can actually click that link, go over and download the example. Now, what is the example? Well, the example is actually a browser. Let me switch over there. You recognize that browser? Didn't think so because it's not available yet. But what we have done is we have actually taken and baked a copy of WebKit, baked a copy of Safari or Chrome, if you will, and implemented this new proposal so you guys can see what it is. Are any designers in the house? Yeah? You know what sucks about the web? It's square. That's what sucks about the web. Wouldn't it be cool if you could do something like that? Right now, you have to do that as an image. Wouldn't it be cool? Go to my desktop view. Wouldn't it be cool if that was actually real text? This is real text flowing inside of a shape. Look at that, flowing inside of a shape. How about that one? Flowing along the shape of an image. Would that be cool, designers? That, my friends, is coming very, very soon. Again, we have just checked that proposal into the W3C. WebKit is already building it in. So in Safari and Chrome, very, very soon, you will have that kind of text run around. Cool? All right.